G'day. I'm not even sure that there is any such thing as a road accident. I think they're road crashes, and very, very few are not preventable. Now, in its simplest form, a road accident or a road crash is two or more vehicles occupying the same space at the same time. It's as simple as that. If one of those vehicles weighs, for instance, 91 tonne, and the other one weighs half a tonne, I can promise you the one that weighs half a tonne will not fare very well. And there's an awful lot of paperwork involved, and hopefully no injuries or death, but it's quite likely. The bottom line is, and I'm not in a position right now, but if you look up the statistics, you will find that most road crashes involving a heavy vehicle and a light vehicle, it's something like 70% off the top of my head, but I'll go and check it up later. The fault is on the behalf of the light vehicle driver. It's a fact of life. Now, that's not about apportioning blame per se, but it is about the fact that most light vehicle drivers don't do it for a living. However, even the best of heavy vehicle drivers, and most of us are pretty good, I promise you. Most of us that have been in the game for a while are very good without putting tickets on ourselves. And the proof of that is that we're still in the game. In my case, it's 4.5 decades. So we do everything we can to prevent having a collision. However, we are human, just like everybody else, and we do make mistakes. The best way not to be involved in a collision with another vehicle is not be too close to them. It's simple stuff, really. I call it giving them elbow room. You leave enough room on either side of the vehicle, and to be perfectly honest, I won't travel in a lane next to any other vehicle any longer than I absolutely have to, because the more room that you've got around you, the less likelihood there is that you will occupy the same space and time. For those of you that are coming down to, say, a set of lights, I'll just duck in front of this truck and stop because there's room. Well, no, there's probably not room. He's allowing himself enough distance back from the lights when they change so that he can come to a stop without having it to be an emergency stop. That's fine. However, if you occupy his braking distance, it may very well become an emergency stop. And it may very well become an emergency stop where he doesn't actually stop in time. Again, if you're in a small vehicle and he's in the big vehicle, you will come off second best. It's really as simple as that. If you have to overtake a heavy vehicle, get out, get in front, and get the hell away. Simple as that. Don't stay next to him for a prolonged period of time. It's not in your best interest and it's not in his. If you are going to overtake, do not at any time undertake. In other words, go down the passenger side, because the passenger side in a heavy vehicle is pretty blind. There are mirrors there, but you would be absolutely gobsmacked if you knew how much of the area on the blind side of a heavy vehicle is actually that, blind. You can't see anything in there. Immediately in front of what we in Australia call the bonnet, Americans call the hood, particularly if it's a long bonneted truck, such as what I drive. Anything within 20 foot of the front of that, can't even see it. So don't occupy that area because I probably won't be able to see you. Don't occupy the passenger side. In my vehicle is 36 and a bit metres long. That's a third of a football field. That's pretty long. And most of the blind side or the passenger side of that, you cannot be seen. So don't occupy that area for any longer than you have to. If you are being overtaken by a heavy vehicle, let him go. Don't try and compete with him. It just doesn't make sense. Most, as I said, the vast majority of truck drivers are courteous and careful, but there is one in every group that might not be the optimum, let's put it that way. And if it happens to be that one that you're fooling with, sorry, try again, it won't do you any good. So just avoid being next to a heavy vehicle, avoid being in front of it if you can, within 3 or 4 second space, and don't be right up the chuffer. Don't be right up behind him, because if you're right up behind him, again, he won't see you. And sometimes you'll be surprised how well they can brake. And if you're not watching, or you're not paying attention when he goes for the picks, throws the anchors out, you could very well run up the back. And I have seen that done countless times. And unfortunately, because of their weight, they don't get out of your way very well. And it will 9 times out of 10 result in significant damage to your vehicle and possibly to your health. So there's simple things. Just leave elbow room. Keep away from them. It's as simple as that. Keep it safe out there.